8 o'clock, hour number 2 underway right here on Jocks. He joins us each and every Tuesday, thanks to our friends at Craneworks.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it. Craneworks
of the Cube in the morning. The no.
You in, Andy? I know.
Andy might.
And we just
spoken. We have nothing else to say about it, Andy.
Andy, what would your response be? Because I do think that most people would say Bruce Pearl easily on the Mount Rushmore of Auburn basketball. I would say easily of Auburn athletics. I think you can make a real case that he's the greatest coach in Auburn athletics history. Where would you fall if I said that that's where I believed he should sit when it comes to the discussion of Auburn athletics all time?
Yeah, I think he's one of the all-time greats at Auburn. And I think you have to put Shug Jordan and Pat Dye in that list. And you take a look at all three of these men and where their program was when they came to Auburn and what it became under their time. And I think it's undeniable that what all three of them have done, Shug Jordan back in the 50s, Pat Dye in the early 80s and through the time of the 80s, and then Bruce Pearl for the last 10 years as Auburn's head basketball coach. I mean, they're very similar. Their programs when they came to Auburn were in trouble, and they took them to the highest of highs in all three cases. Now, and you can certainly put, as a result of all of his championships, David Marsh on that list, what Joe Champy did with women's basketball, what Greg Williams has done with equestrian. But I think those first three, Bruce Pearl, Shug Jordan, and Pat Dye, I think are to me, those are the absolute three that deserve to be on that list. And all the rest of those are obviously very, very successful and very important to their sports and to Auburn University.
It's pretty shocking to see something happen so abruptly and the timing of it, but I don't think anyone was surprised, frankly, based on his interest level and maybe getting involved in something bigger, something that he's moved by. And I don't think he's running for Senate, but I do think that he will have some type of involvement. And I would imagine it'll probably be announced at some point pretty soon. So what does it mean for Stephen Pearl? How will he kind of navigate this? And is he prepared for this opportunity?
I believe he's absolutely prepared for this opportunity. I think he has been preparing for this opportunity. And I think he has worked underneath one of the all-time greats in his father for the last 11 years, I guess it is now. And of late, the associate head coaching role. But yes, do I think he's equipped? Absolutely. Do I think he's ready for this? Absolutely, he is. And I think we're with everyone that maybe the timing of it, surprise caught us off guard. I had no idea it was coming until it leaked at some point yesterday morning, and then by the time that Hugh Freeze took the podium 1 hour later than expected, as for his weekly press conference, the announcement had already been made. And hats off, by the way, to the folks that took care of that video with Bruce Pearl and family. I thought that was terrific. But Bruce Pearl's been very upfront about the fact that he wanted Stephen Pearl to be the next head coach at Auburn. He's never shied away from that. I don't think Stephen's ever shied away from the fact that he desired this position and has been working for this opportunity that now Auburn has given him, and now he takes over multi-year contract. He's not the interim coach. I thought that was really important for Auburn at that point. And now Stephen Pearl takes over as the next head basketball coach for the Auburn Tigers.
Andy Bertram joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. He's with us every Tuesday, thanks to Craneworks. For those that haven't been around him, that haven't been able to see how he operates, get an understanding of who he is, Auburn fans specifically, what would you say to sort of give them some comfort on Stephen Pearl being named the Auburn head basketball coach?
Well, and listen, he's not Bruce as far as a personality is. They're two different people, and I don't think he's going to try and be Bruce Pearl. I'm not sure I don't think he should try to be Bruce Pearl. He needs to be Stephen Pearl in this position. He is. Listen, every time that we have talked with Stephen on the air, he is incredibly prepared. He's very bright. He has recruited the heck out of this team, especially the transfer portal in recent years. And we know how important that is. Heck, we know how important it is for this current Auburn team that is made up of a great deal of the transfer portal. I think he embraces the analytics part of things, maybe a little bit more than his father. And he has been the guy that Auburn has relied on from a defensive standpoint in recent years. I thought it was really interesting a couple of years ago that Bruce started talking about Stephen was his defensive coordinator, Mike Burgomaster was his offensive coordinator. He has – one of the things about Bruce Pearl, one of the many things about Bruce Pearl that struck me was how much he let his coaches coach and the credit that he gave to these men for the success of Auburn. And now one of those becomes the next head coach. And I'm glad to see that those guys are remaining with Stephen now. I think it's important that this staff remains together now under Stephen Pearl as he moves into the role. So yes, I absolutely believe that Stephen is equipped and is I think he would probably tell you he's more than ready for this opportunity. I mean, it is a job that he has wanted. It's a job that his father felt that he can do, and now we get to all see together what kind of head coach Stephen Pearl becomes, and what the next steps of this program.
Moving over to football,
All right.
how do you bounce back from last week? I think you got to feel pretty. I hate moral victories, but I think if you're an Auburn fan, you probably feel pretty good. I guess based on how that could have gone against a great offense and how Jackson performed under the circumstances, and he didn't play emotionally. There's a lot to clean up, but where do you think Auburn is mentally right now coming off the loss last week?
I think it's exactly what you just said, Greg. And by the way, it was good to see you in Norman.
Good to see you
and I
too.
have never had a chance just to say hello in person, only through this show. So it was great to see you. We had Sean on our pregame show, and it was just terrific. I really admire the work that both of you guys do. Back to this. Listen, there are so many things to clean up for this game. And Hugh Freeze talked about it yesterday in his press conference. He talked about it last night on Tiger Talk right here on Jocks. You've got to clean up the special teams. It was really a struggle for Auburn, from the penalties to fielding the ball, taking him into the end zone, the muck snap, and listen, those happen from time to time. That's got to get better. I guess now it's officially 9 sacks, not 10 sacks, regardless. That's far too many in a ball game. Hugh told us last night that really 5 of those were on the fact that Jackson held the ball too long in the game. So it wasn't all on the offensive line, but that was alarming, even to give up 9 sacks, regardless of who's to blame for that. 13 penalties in the game. And yet, with all of that said, you have the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to drive and win the ball game. I think that says a lot about this team. And it is not a moral victory, but I think there are positives that you take out of this ball game, and you better flush it quickly, learn from that game, and get ready for another team that might be just a little bit better than that Oklahoma ball club in Texas A&M this Saturday at 2:30.
How does Hugh Freeze go about blocking the distraction of what could have been, what happened that seemingly went against Auburn in that game, as opposed to focusing on the positives that can be built upon and make that a team that can contend with anybody in this league?
I think you do that. You do just that. If you dwell on what might have been from an officiating standpoint, if you dwell about what might have been if Auburn doesn't have 13 penalties and gives up 9 sacks in the game, if you dwell on those, you're in trouble. You must learn from them. There's no question about that. And I don't get the idea. Listen, I mean, Coach Freese told us last night that he did not sleep after the ball game. When we got back to town about 12:30 on Sunday morning, and I'm not sure the man slept a whole lot going into Sunday and getting ready for Texas A&M. And I've never been a head coach at any level, including Little League. All right, but if you dwell on what might have been or dwell on things that went against you in a ball game, you're in trouble. I think you have to address them and you have to move on. And now Auburn, this is the second 2 straight games against top 15 opponents when they play them. Now both of these teams in Oklahoma and A&M are in the top 10, and you better be ready. You better be ready for the Aggies on Saturday afternoon.
Andy, we always appreciate the time. We know each and every week you're brought to us by our friends at Craneworks.
And Wasteworks, a Craneworks company, provides roll-off dumpster rentals in the Birmingham area with a wide range of sizes and fast service. They are your source local dumpster rentals. Visit wasteworksusa.com for a quote. That's wasteworksusa.com for a quote. All right, where's everyone headed? I'm heading to Aggie Land.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Wonderful. Fabulous. I hope both of you had great trips and great calls on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Make sure you get by Fuego, Andy.
By the way, I was talking to JC in the hotel on a Friday night.
Yeah.
He said that you try to drag him to all these very unhealthy restaurants, and he's trying to stay lean and mean on the road. Is this accurate?
Yes.
He said that you're a big pizza the night before guy. He's like, I gotta trim up. Like I gotta. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting my steps in. I gotta get my. I know I'm gonna go eat some 2,000 calorie dinner with Andy.
Well, he didn't. I was with my brother
Oh, gotcha.
on Friday night. So there's one discrepancy in that story right there. And half of our crew went with Jason to a grill. They had fish and it was or roasted chicken, I think. And the other half didn't go and have pizza. Jason is always working on something.
Yes.
From a health perspective. But to blame that on me Friday night, I will address with the 2004 SEC Player of the Year.
He's a good dude. Y'all must have a lot of fun on the road, man. That's awesome that he's doing what he does now. I think it's great.
And you guys know what it's like to be with that crew week in and week out, and the fun that you have with each other and the concern that you have for each other and the friendships. But Jason is absolutely wrong about this one. He can't blame this one on me.
Do you feel like you have to go out of your way sometimes to invoke emotion with Jason?
No, not really.
He's just one of the most level-headed human beings you'll ever be around. He's not going to get too high. He's not going to get too low. He's just kind of, here it is. And I love that about him. And
his nickname is Smooth. His nickname is Smooth, and there's a reason for that.
Yep. Even when he couldn't take a snap coming out of high school, he was still smooth. So
he's pretty laid back. I will admit that dude's pretty laid back. He's about as even keel as you'll find.
You're right.
You get him between the lines, he wants to kill you, but he's just not going to tell you about it. You're not going to see it on him, but trust me, it's in there. I know it's in there. Always appreciate it, Andy. Enjoy the weekend. Good luck in College Station. We'll catch up next week.
Guys, have a great one. Thank you. War Eagle.
War Eagle, Andy. All right, that's Andy Bertram, voice of the Auburn Tigers, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, brought to you by Craneworks. He brought up a few things interesting moving ahead. We'll move ahead. In 15 minutes, Matt Stinchcomb on Bama, Georgia. We know what that game means. We know what that game is. Probably start previewing it here a little bit early. And we'll talk some other college football when we return next on Jocks. Before we begin to turn the page to this upcoming college football, we'll do that in a moment. 800-239-9569, 800-239-WJOX. You can text into the show 205-834-9450. Tweet in. You can listen to the show online, jocksfm.com. The app is in your app store, iPhone, Android. You can download that for free. Watch us live on YouTube each and every day. Just search Jocks 945.
Bill Smith Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champion of GMC dealers. You can go check them out, see it for yourself. It's amazing what they can do for you, but the deals that they can provide you on the lot. Just go take the short drive up to Coleman. You'll see it for yourself. Like a GMC Sierra that they take nearly $15,000 off the sticker price. You pay $67 in most places. You pay just over $52 at Bill Smith. There's a reason why 75% of their business is repeat customers. There's a reason why they sell more GMCs than anyone in the entire Southeast, because you have an elevated experience when you shop with Bill Smith. So take the short drive up to Coleman. You'll be glad you did. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
All right, I want to get through just a couple of other games that we haven't had a chance to hit on, spend a lot of time on. Just a couple of SEC games first, and then we'll go a little bit more national. We discussed Auburn, Oklahoma yesterday. LSU, Southeast Louisiana, Greg, was 56-10. I will say this. LSU has to be very careful up front this week. They can't pick up twists, specifically on the right side. I think they missed 4 in this game. And if you don't think Pete Golding's drawing those things up right now, you got another thing coming. Be very careful, LSU.
Question I have, though, is when I watch Ole Miss so far this year, I don't feel like their linebackers are playing where they need to play. Like, I feel like they've been out of position a few times. I like Daugherty.
No, it's fair.
And maybe I just took for granted how good I thought Paul was last year. Like, I just remember watching those linebackers, like, they could be aggressive up front because the linebackers would make them right. I haven't seen that yet from this year's group.
I'm with you. But
do you want to call it?
But I also think that the defensive line is really starting to come on. I thought Uman Mielen had his best game maybe that I've seen him play. I didn't watch every game in Nebraska, but I wasn't blown away with a lot of what he did in Nebraska. And he looked pretty good last week. And 4 is just a game changer, man.
He's
anything they ask
eraser.
him to do, he's just so. He had one play, and he was kind of working as a spy. The center begins to come out on him. He's like a yard off the original line of scrimmage. Quarterback's leaving on like a draw, and he cuts off the center directly to the sideline, and he's got like 2 steps on him, and he just tracks him down like straight over to the sideline and makes a tackle.